Big tonight, Trinidad and Tobago's Prime Minister Kamla Persad-Bissessar has again defended the Federation's sovereign right to support the United States in the Caribbean waters.
Whilst we have the unity in CARICOM, every nation state in the CARICOM is free to exercise their sovereign rights as they think best.
Speaking ahead of a trip to the United Nations General Assembly on Thursday, she addressed concerns about CARICOM unity and foreign military presence in the region.
At this time, our willingness in accepting the U.S. in the waters of the Southcom, in the Southern Caribbean, in the international waters, I'm very happy about that. That is my sovereign right for the people of Trinidad and Tobago. Remember, many of the other CARICOM nations do not have the carnage we have here. We had over 600 murders in this tiny island state in 1 year. Okay? We have the narco trafficking, the human trafficking, and many other ills that comes from the criminality. Many of those CARICOM nations do not face a similar thing.
Despite the stance, the Prime Minister reaffirmed her commitment to CARICOM, saying that unity remains vital.
United and do better. But where it is that this threat, this narco threat and criminal threat, Trinidad and Tobago is the most hit. We are the most blasted. And we are the most suffering when it comes to that. We can't do the same things we've been doing for 20 years and expect it to change.
Prime Minister Persad-Bissessar made it clear that her country simply doesn't have the resources to fight crime alone.
So this is a game changer in a sense, having help from others who are larger than we are. They have the resources. We don't have the resources. We don't have the resources. We have not had them for the past umpteen years where the crime just ran away. We have to do things different. So to my CARICOM partners or cousins, brothers, sisters in the CARICOM, we love them. We are committed to the CARICOM. So nothing I'm saying is against the CARICOM. It has to do, as I say, with first of all, looking after the safety and security of the people of Trinidad and Tobago.
Guyana's President Irfan Ali has again called for the lifting of the decades-old United States embargo on Cuba and its removal from the list as a state sponsor of terrorism. He was speaking late Wednesday at the United Nations in New York.
At 80, the time has come for a frank conversation on Cuba, one that would lead to the prosperity of its people, optimizing the full potential Cuba offers to its people and the rest of the world.
President of Kenya, William Ruto, on Wednesday reiterated his country's support for Haiti, lauding as a success the multinational security support mission deployed to the French-speaking CARICOM member state led by his country. Ruto told the United Nations General Assembly that the mission is both a success and a cautionary tale about global security governance.
Drawing on our decades of peace support operations, we stepped forward, stepped up, and deployed our officers to confront the rampant menace of gang violence in Port-au-Prince and its environs. Madam President, ladies and gentlemen, the mission has operated in a volatile environment under enormous constraints. It has been underfunded, under-equipped, and operated below 40% of its authorized personnel strength. Our police officers have valiantly shouldered responsibilities without the full logistical support that would accompany any mission sanctioned by the United Nations. Despite these challenges, and against all odds, the MSS has delivered results many thought were impossible.
He said government institutions once overrun by gangs were restored, schools reopened, kidnappings have declined, and Haiti's airport and seaports have resumed normal operations.
Which begs the question, if so much could be achieved with limited resources and stretched personnel within just 15 months, what more could have been accomplished if the United Nations fraternity had truly acted together in solidarity with the people of Haiti?
He urged the UN Security Council to ensure the gains achieved so far by the Kenyan-led mission are consolidated as the UN body deliberates on the next steps. Meanwhile, Guyana's President Irfan Ali, in his speech, said that along with CARICOM, the international community must act more decisively on Haiti.
Restoring security is the foremost priority, requiring strict enforcement of the arms embargo and robust support for a UN-authorized mission. I emphasize that without urgent humanitarian funding and a Haitian-led and owned political process, stability will remain elusive. We must address the root causes of Haiti's continuing troubles, including its historical debt burdens, which stymies its development, prospects, and upliftment of its people. As President Macron acknowledged, making Haiti pay for its independence was unjust.
Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney has held talks with the President of the Transitional Presidential Council of Haiti, Laurent Saucier, and the Barbados Prime Minister Mia Mottley on the margins of the United Nations General Assembly UNGA. Carney and Saucier discussed Haiti's crisis and Canada's backing of the UN resolution, with Carney emphasizing better support mechanisms. Carney emphasized Canada's commitment to peace, urging more international support.
I've benefited, as the world has, as Barbados has, the Caribbean, but the world truly has, from your leadership in sustainable finance, in challenging the international institutions, all our institutions, to really serve our citizens. And I look forward to working together, Jay.
Mottley said Canada's commitment is critical to the region and hope to continue to work together on areas of mutual concerns.
And I am hoping that we can understand better what is happening in Haiti. We can understand better where we're positioning ourselves with the development finance. You, more than most, now appreciate the importance of ensuring that high finance meets low pockets across the countries that we live in. And that may mean a shift in the perspective as to whether we can continue to finance development with short-term capital, or whether we make it real and reflective of the lives of people who have to develop in order to help earn the monies that are borrowed and invested.
Barbados' Prime Minister Mia Mottley has called for a legally binding agreement for methane reduction. She was speaking this week in New York at a climate summit and ahead of the next climate change conference meeting referred to as COP, which will be held in Brazil in November.
And I say this to you, President Lula, as we go into COP, we had a voluntary agreement on methane out of Dubai. That is not enough. We need a legally binding global agreement for methane reduction. The fossil fuel industry is not the enemy. It is the emissions. And if we have a legally binding methane agreement, we can buy ourselves time over the next 15 years or 20 years to give them sufficient time to continue to do super fast research to scale up decarbonizing technology to commercial level, while at the same time giving countries in the South the opportunity not to have to abandon the one thing that can finance their way to net zero.
Methane is a colorless, odorless, and highly flammable gas that is the primary component of natural gas and a potent greenhouse gas. Close to 100 countries, including nearly 40 heads of state and government, this week announced their commitment to finalizing their new climate targets ahead of COP30 in Belém, Brazil. For the first time, several major economies, including China, the world's largest emitter, as well as Nigeria, announced economy-wide emissions reduction targets covering all greenhouse gases and all sectors. Still from New York, Barbados' Prime Minister Mia Mottley has called for greater investments in the youth of the world. That call came at a meeting of what is called the Generation Unlimited Global Leadership Council that brought together heads of state and government, CEOs of global companies, multilateral and civil society organizations, and youth change makers.
I believe that the banks and insurance companies of the world have a moral responsibility, but also an investment opportunity to guarantee that all of us can live on this planet together without fear of life or limb. And that the best way to do it is by investing in the young people of the world.
This is Primetime Caribbean. More news after the break.